Guess what time it is? That's right, music time with Mr. Richter. Hi friends, welcome to Music Time with Mr. Richter. Guess what we're gonna do today? We're gonna have fun with recorders. I bet some of you have a recorder at home. You've maybe played this or learned some at music time at your school, and you might have played a song that sounds a little bit like this. So, it's an easy song. You just put your fingers on the recorder. This is your left hand. It makes an L. And you put the thumb behind the hole in the back. Then you put your first finger down, and then your next finger down, and then your next finger down, and you just blow gently, not too hard, gently. If you blow too hard, it starts making weird noises. You don't want to do that. Your mom and dad will hate it. Recorders come in all shapes and sizes. This is the one that you're probably familiar with. It probably looks a lot similar to the one that you might have at home or one that you've seen at school. This is called the soprano recorder. And what happens is that recorders come in different sizes. There are bigger ones. This is called an alto recorder. This is the one that you're familiar with, sometimes called a soprano recorder. And then there are even tinier ones. This is a baby recorder, sometimes called the sopranino. It means a little soprano. And each one makes a slightly different sound. This one is longer and bigger, so it makes a lower sound. I'll play the lowest sound on it. And now the soprano recorder. The lowest notes are always the hardest ones to make. And then the sopranino. And this one can really hurt your ears. It's a lot of fun. Here's the highest sound that it can make, or I can make. That hurts your ears a little bit, doesn't it? And the cool thing about recorders is they come in even bigger sizes, all kinds of shapes and everything. I'm gonna put a couple pictures here. There's one really cool modern looking one that's called a Petzl bass. And they come in huge and they look almost like Legos, but they make a really cool sound. So there's lots of different kinds of recorders and different things that we can do with them. And to start with, I'm gonna play a fun song. What a lot of people don't realize is that with your recorder, you can play some pretty fancy music. I'm gonna play a short little part of a recorder sonata by Telemann. He was a friend of Mr. Bach, if you remember Mr. Bach from an earlier episode. He was a friend, he was a neighbor, he lived a couple towns away from Bach, and he wrote a lot of music. So, here is part of his sonata in F major. My friend Robbie is gonna accompany me. See, even recorders can make some pretty good music, right? And play lots of fast notes and do some pretty fancy things. It's not just a children's toy. Recorders were really popular a long time ago because they're a pretty simple instrument. Here's my recorder. You may have seen this in one of my other videos with Music Time with Mr. Richter. This is the one that my friend Andrew, I'm gonna put a picture of Andrew. He's kind of like a bigger version of me. He's basically bald and tall. I call him Big B. This recorder he gave me can play some really fancy music. It was really popular a long time ago for composers to write pieces, and a guy named Jacob van Eyck, he lived in Holland, and he wrote hundreds and hundreds of songs that are based on folk melodies or popular songs that people would have known, and his town that he lived in paid him to play and entertain people in the town square. And so what he would do was he would take his recorder, he would go outside and start playing and riffing on songs that people would know. The song I'm going to play for you today is called Bockxvoetje. I don't know exactly how to say it, but it's in Dutch. And I looked it up, and what I think it means is the name of the song is called Bockxvoetje. Isn't that a funny name? I have no idea why it's called, but it's a really simple melody, okay? Listen to a little bit of it, and then I'm going to explain what Van Eyck does with this melody, okay? And then it keeps on going. And then he has different, what we call variations. He takes that melody, the first couple of notes, right? That's the first measure, first 3 notes, 4 notes. And then the next variation, he changes it, or he decorates it just a little bit. He takes those notes, and then he adds a couple extra ones. Listen. So he added a little bit, da 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 da, instead of just the simple. And then he gets even fancier in the next variation, the last variation, and he adds even more fast notes. A lot more fast notes. I'm going to play the whole thing. It only takes about a minute to play, okay? And I want you to listen. It starts simple, then it gets fancier on the next variation, and then even more fancy, right? Bockxvoetje. Could you hear how it got a little fancier each time and there were more fast notes? So it's a lot of fun, and that's a really easy one. He wrote some really super hard ones with lots and lots of fast notes that Mr. Richter needs to keep on practicing if he's ever going to play it for you. But this one, it's a lot of fun. One of the fun things you can do with recorders is you can play with your friends and play in groups and do all kinds of things. Sometimes it's called a recorder consort or a recorder orchestra even, right? It just means a big bunch of people playing recorders all together, and recorders in different sizes. I only have these 3 different ones, and I'm going to put them together, and we're going to play a song. Reverend Kara, our rector, requested this song for Easter, and she wanted to hear it on handbells because she likes it. Unfortunately, I can't do it on handbells because I don't have your help. Maybe we can do that next year, okay? Remind me. But today, I'm going to play Now the Green Blade Riseth. It's in the hymnal, and it's got a fun melody. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to conduct, and they're going to play an arrangement of that hymn on some of these recorders. Okay, I'm getting ready to conduct. Conductors use a conductor's baton. Sometimes it's just called a stick. And what they do, it makes it easier for people to see. I've got mine, but can you go find something at home and conduct along with me? Maybe you can find a chopstick or a spoon or something simple. A pencil would work. I think instead of my baton, I'm just going to use a chopstick. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, boys. You look a little strange, but I'm going to trust that you've been practicing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. recorders. I'm glad you were here with me today. Please come back next week. Don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff down in the description box below. I hope you have a recorder at home. If you don't, maybe you can get one on Amazon. These days they come in all kinds of cool colors. Green's my favorite color, so green would be a good choice. Okay? See you next week. Guess what time it is? That's right, music time with Mr. Richter.